Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you for another Kagurabachi Manga chapter review. This is going to be Kagurabachi chapter 26, wait, sorry, 26 titled Confidence. So, let's get into it. So, I'm sorry for this chapter coming out so late. It only comes out late anyway because the chapters usually come out around 11 in the morning, but I got church at 12, so ain't a lot of time to really do it, so I can do it after church. Plus, today we got a new Wi-Fi router and modem. It took forever to set up as soon as we got home, so now I'm even more late, but it doesn't matter. So the beginning of the chapter starts off with, I'm going to call her Akami. Remember the Haikini girl with the flame bone that fought Chihito a little while ago? I keep messing up her name, but she looks like Akami. When Akami got killed, so I'm going to call her Akami. And then we got her like best friend, apparently, sumo guy, so I'm going to call him E Honda. And then inside of a restaurant, and she's eating a ton of spaghetti. And he's like, yo, do you really need all that spaghetti? She goes, I really want to kill that Chihito guy and get back at him for what he did to me. She still got bandages on her head, so I need to fuel up. So she has a huge plate of spaghetti. I don't know why it's so big. Well, she just says she got to fuel up, but it's a pretty huge plate of spaghetti. Anyway, the sumo guy pulls out his phone and shows her that, hey, Chihito's blade just got put on auction. Obviously, she's really surprised about this. Like, whoa, why did he do that? Is it for the money? The sumo guy's like, nah, I don't look like he'll do this for the money. I doubt he even want to let go of it. So they don't really know why he let go of it, but hey, it's on the auction now. And she's kind of wondering, what is that dude planning? Then we cut over to Chihito, Mr. Sabi, Hanio, Char, and Hakiri. I think that's how you say his name. The guy that's like Kobe, basically, from One Piece that's here. We see them in a car, and their plan is to do a recon. Metasabi and Chihito bounce ideas off of each other, like, maybe the storehouse is in a realistic place inside of the real world, but he's teleporting items from it. That could be an idea, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. Like, they're trying to figure out how exactly they're going to even get close to the storehouse, because he definitely said that if I die, the whole storehouse disappears. That means the whole auction will just go into shambles. Obviously, they don't want that. Now, they do have preparation, like they have all the tow, plus all the other Samasees. They stand guard to protect him. But, anything could happen. Anything accidental could happen. He could die, or, natural causes, like if he gets a disease. So there has to be some sort of backup plan for the storehouse if this guy dies. What could it be? We don't really know. We just need to do some recon and figure it out, because this auction is coming up pretty soon. Plus, Chihito gave him his blade, so now we really need to figure out how the storehouse works with inside of him, or how we're even going to get close to him to get to it, because he can basically do almost anything. Chihito says that he can do somewhat of recon from his enchanted blade. It was kind of funny because Hanio, she's like in the back seat and Chihito's in the front seat, and she leans over, she goes, look at the specific words she said. She goes, oh, does the enchanted blade have a recon function? Talk about fully featured. And in Char, she says the exact same thing, fully featured. And I'm going to read what he says word by word so I don't mess it up. So, Chihito says, the goldfish are a manifestation of my spirit power. I can move them freely like an arm or a leg. I can also get a general sense of their surroundings. I'll often send them ahead into enemy territory to scope out the area. And that makes sense because from the beginning of the story up until now, a couple of times beforehand, we've seen like the goldfish like swim around in the area, and the guys would be like, oh, look, a goldfish, he's here. So I thought that was supposed to be like a cool way, or like maybe that's how the technique works. But no, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like, oh, okay, there's like 2 guys in this area, 3 guys in this area, so I can come in. No surprises are gonna come anywhere. That makes sense. Anyway, then he also says that, Mr. Sabi says, but you can move the goldfish remotely, right? Chihito says, I gave it a try after I heard the report from the Hagawaga troops. Remember those guys that were supposed to go kill Sojo? Those specific guys. Anyway, that Sojo can cast Mei remotely. It's not that hard. I just give it a charged up with my spirit energy before I let go. When the energy runs out, it doesn't work anymore. And we get a little panel of him holding his sword, throws it off to the side, nothing happens. But he holds his sword, charges it up, throws it, and then boom, the goldfish are swimming around it. So as long as he has energy inside the sword, he can have the goldfish swim around and do recon inside the safe house to see, well, I guess to see where it is or whatever else is in there, just to have some sort of information about the storehouse. Mr. Sabi says, okay, yeah, that's true, but Sojo was within 100 meters or so. We have no idea where the storehouse is, so will it work? Shihiro says he'll try. He goes, I'm not sure, but in any case we could have been at a dead end. This was a necessary risk. And it was so funny because a few times in this chapter, Mr. Sabi just looks at Shihiro and he goes, wow, he has a pretty good poker face on. I'm so proud. Like, this guy is kind of crazy. We get like a little mini Mr. Sabi, like a chibi form of his thoughts off to the side, like smiling or whatever. And then he starts to think to himself about Hariki, because he goes, wow, number one, his dad was really going to kill him back at not the storehouse, but back at like the headquarters of the Samurai. And he's the reason, well, quote unquote, he is the reason why Chihiro had to give up his blade. It wasn't necessarily a risk, like he said, so now they have somewhat of an opening, but he still feels pretty bad about everything that happened. He had to let Chihiro give away his blade. His dad was going to kill him. He must be feeling really down about himself. And Mr. Sabi was right, because right after that, we hear his internal dialogue. Hariki, he's not feeling too hot about this whole situation, so he offers to go get him some ice cream. I think Chihiro closes his eyes, and he tries to picture himself grabbing the blade. And Hariki apologizes for being such a burden. And Chihiro goes, no, you helped me make the move. Even though I wasn't sure that katana suits you. Remember what he says? You gave me the confidence to let it go. And then he visualized himself holding the blade. And then we cut over to the blade inside the storehouse, and a little goldfish pops out of it. I realized that no matter what happens, it's still mine. That was really good. And then, right after that, excuse me, right after that, we cut over to Hariki's dad walking around inside the storehouse. Chihiro sees him, and as soon as the dad turns around, the goldfish isn't inside the case anymore with Chihiro's blade. It's like flying up top. And the dad turns around, and he starts to look at the blade. He goes, I thought I saw something. Maybe not. Even though, Chihiro Ro Kurio, I can't imagine you'll give up Inten without a plan. At the very least, it wasn't hopelessness I saw in your eyes. But a business deal without risk is boring. Honestly, I look forward to seeing your next move. If I can protect the enchanted blades until the auction, I win. Bring it on. And his eyes start to glow again. Well, specifically one eye. After that, we cut over to some bodyguards, some Samurai clan members outside the auction house. And they start just talking to each other like, man, everything is so tense and going crazy. Like, those guys broke in, and only someone who breaks in, they die, but they were able to get away. This is kind of crazy, right? And he goes, well, the other guy's like, yeah. But this auction can be kind of crazy because we have 2 enchanted blades. Then he goes to the other guy. He goes, well, enchanted blades are probably going to be like the very last thing up on auction. Like, they're like the big headliners. So they're probably not going to be auctioned off until dark. So what's the point of making a fuss now until they're never going to show up until later on? He goes, I don't know. But let's get ready. And then it cuts to November 8th. The 208th. Doors open at 11. Auction is at 12. The Raka Zai Shiki. The auction is finna begin within an hour. We see a ton of cars in front of this huge mansion. So it's game on. It's game on. We're finna get into it, man. This is gonna be intense. I can't wait to see what happens. Because we know the Kamabari, the good guy group, somewhat, they're gonna make a move soon. They're gonna make a move, but they're gonna like place their own auction. But obviously, Akami's gonna be there, so she's gonna want to start a ruckus and stuff like that. Plus, the sumo guy, he can trap some people inside of his like domain, so that's really cool. Number 2, always gonna have Chihiro and Mr. Sabi come in. Obviously, Hariki's gonna come in too. Hopefully, he can awaken to something. Then we're gonna have the toe. So it's like a 3-way battle. So, and I was like, I was saying for the longest, I was like, yo, Chihiro is only him and Mr. Sabi really. They're going to need more backup to fight all these guys, right? But then I'm like, well, I guess not, because the Kamabaris, they're coming in too. They're not on Chihiro's side, but that is still another group to help fight off some of the Toe members and other Samurai clan people if anything starts to happen. And obviously, stuff is going to happen. I don't know how, but it is. And hopefully Chihiro was able to figure out if he's able to see anything inside of there, to figure out where the location of the storehouse is, if it is in an actual place, or figure out how to find him. You know, hopefully he figures out something, because, I mean, the auction is today. So we need to get moving. We need to get moving. But this is really good, though. I can't wait for next week. Can't wait for the next chapter. This is going to get interesting. This is going to get really interesting. So that's the chapter. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I thank you all there for being wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. All right.